What's up, YouTube? Going to do a demonstration, a how-to here on how to make a monkey's fist out of paracord. I think there's 10, maybe 12 reviews or how-tos on monkey's fists. I love a lot of the guys that have already done them. Storm Drain, Kevin, Paracordist, all those guys that have done them have done a good job. I'm just going to show a little different technique here and the way I do it that's easiest for me. Maybe it'll help some of you guys out there. The monkey's fist can be one of the more difficult paracord knots to figure out. The demos on some of the videos show the person using a larger rope to do the demonstration, and that's probably the easiest way for you guys to learn, and that was the easiest way for me to learn also, was with larger rope. But I'm going to use paracord here in the demo because that's what you're going to be doing at the end. I've got a piece here that's just over 4 foot long, or 1 arm span. My fingers to the other side of my fingers is what I measure. What you want to do here is you want to start with all the slack, if you're right-handed, out here to your right. And I just have a short piece here on the left. I'm going to leave about 12 inches of that. Okay? You want to take your paracord, and I'm going to do a 5-fingered monkey's fist. So we have 3, 4, and 5. Now, I like to use leaving my pinky free, and I'm going to come around here on this one and just go across the bottom like so. Now, the trickiest part about learning to tie a monkey's fist, or learning to tie a lot of knots in general, is just how to hold everything while you're doing it. I've never used the jigs, but I guess you could call this a jig. I'm going to show you how to do it with just one clothespin here. You're going to get those 5 that you have, keep them in line, and hook them in that clothespin. So I got my 5 up here, and this is the one that was out here to the side. So now you're just going to come around. You don't necessarily need that finger in there anymore, and you're going to go this way around it. After the first 2, I'm going to already be ready to put my ball bearing in. Use whatever you want. Three, 4, and there's the 5th. Now, I'm going to go ahead and let that go. And then we're ready to go through the middle. Now on this part, I'm going to pull most of that slack out the first time through and make sure it gets over to the side there pretty nicely, like so. Then when you're holding this, making sure you don't let your ball fall out the bottom, you're going to come through the bottom. Pull most of that slack out. Now that's the trickiest one on this 3rd set of loops. Now I'm going to put my finger in the bottom to keep the ball steady and to hold that first time through the bottom there over to the side. Now just back through. Still got the finger in there. Come right next to the finger. Now I should be able to let the ball go. Yep. Through the top again. Now at this point, you've got a couple loops through on the 3rd session, and you can kind of let that ball go, but you want to hold the whole knot at the same time. But you can clear out that bottom there with your finger to where you have a lot of room to get your rope through easily. You want to come through and just count to 5. There's 3. And if a few of your top knots or your top loops get out of whack a little bit, like these are right now, don't worry about it. We're going to fix that in a second. Through the bottom, through the top. These knots on the inside, the strings on the inside are what you want to worry about keeping level and next to each other. The ones on the outside we can deal with no problem. Now, this is going to be the last one, and I'm just going to come through here on the top. Now, the monkey's fist is finished. Now you're going to go through a series of tightenings. You cannot just pull on the two loose strings and tighten this knot. You'll just make a big mess. So what you want to do is you want to turn it the same way you started working with it. I've got the original 12-inch end over here that I started with and the short end that I've ended with here on the right. So what you're going to do is you're going to start pulling all this slack out. And for you beginners, it might be easiest to just start with the long piece of cord. I've now turned it around, but you're going to just slowly pull that down. All the meanwhile correcting all these lines that you've already done, just keeping them in line. Pull that slack not tight at all, doing a very loose tightening here on the first session around. So you've pulled that one. Now you just look and you see where it goes. You get the other side, and you actually push it through a little bit just to see which one's moving. See the one on top moving? That's how you know where you're going next. Pull that one, not tight, just kind of flush. Just getting some of the slack out here on this first series and getting everything lined up well. I just pushed this one over because it was just a little bit out of whack. But you can always tell which one's supposed to be next by, as I said, pushing a little bit. Let's push here. See that moving? That's where I know I'm going next. Pull that little amount of slack out there. Same thing, push here. Where is it coming? It's coming right out there. That's where I'm going next. Same thing, push there. It's coming out the top, pull the top. Push there, coming out the bottom. Almost have that is going to be the last one here. Pushing, pulling, seeing what's moving. Now we're going to go down, and that's the last one there. Pull that small amount of slack right there. Now that whole side is lined up good. Now this slack here, same thing. Some of these are going to turn on you. You just push. The big loop you just ended, you were pushing this way, so push this way and see which comes out. This comes out. Now these side lines, the ones on the very side, those are the ones you're going to have to be careful when you're first tightening up the knots. You do not want to pull these too tight. It'll be deformed when you're finished. You want to keep those nice and flat and not pull much slack out of those. If you see which one I'm talking about there, don't pull these side knots that tight yet. Okay, so same thing. Push the end that I wasn't working. And there it is. Sorry. Confused yourself. So I was going to pull out my loose ends. Now I'm going back here. Found the right one by pushing. Same thing. Just pull that end. Now work this end. Now, after the first series of tightenings is over, you're going to end up at one of your loose strings. You're going to pull that slack out. If you want to make a necklace, which is what is sitting in the background of mine, then I can show you that demo as well. It's a very easy way to do it. See where that's pushing? That's where I want to be. Now I'm at one of my loose ends, so I can pull out that remaining slack. And there we have a semi-tightened monkey's fist. This video is getting a little long here. We're going on the 10-minute mark. So I'm going to make a part 2 and show you how to finish tightening that on up and show you how to finish turning it into one of these necklaces here. Thanks, guys. Please sub.